Hi, I'm XR from MO 2007 Ultra. This time I'm going to show you some of the more complicated stuff in VRChat Dimension Structure R08 Konnekt. So, the first thing first, the camera. The camera over here is actually a multi-channel camera. So, the Kanshimetzura Camera. So, let's just say I'll take a snapshot on this channel. There we go. So this is channel 0. We have 4 channels over here. Channel 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if I were to switch to other channels, now I switch to channel 1. So let's say if I start recording now, you can see channel 1 is now recording. So if I take a picture of that, no problem at all. If I switch to another channel, I can start recording. You can see it's working. But let's just take another one. Okay, so well, it is better advice when you are not using Kanshimetzura Camera, you make sure all the channels are static. Otherwise, it'll just eat a bunch of frames away from you. This one over here is the Kanshimetzura blackboard. It's almost the same idea with the camera. It's just the camera, it's fixed point at this blackboard over here, such that you can take screenshots of itself. It also has 4 channels as well. But we don't exactly use that much, but not a big deal. This one over here is the pixel canvas. So over here we have 2 types of pens, the pixel drawer and the eraser. I'm right-handed. There we go. The pixel drawer, when it comes to contact, it starts drawing pixels. So you use this to erase them and have fun with the rest. This one over here is originally made for modern art. I'll show you what I mean. Over here we have a whole bunch of shapes. Let's just say I'm going to pick circle. If I can reach that one. Is that a no? There we go. So yeah, let's just take a circle for example. And here is our color palette. And then the eyedropper tool in order to choose our colors. So eyedrop tool on the right. Click it once to start sucking colors. It also works on avatars. It also works on avatars because, yeah. But of course, if you're holding the palette, you can click several times to change the palettes. So we have warm, we have cool, and we have monotone. In this case, I must stick with warm because it's one of my favorite color palettes. Let's just say I pick this color, whatever. And we can just leave it here. Now, let me get this thing. Here we have the canvas. So let's just start by placing this circle over here. Very simple, whatever. Here we have 5 buttons. We have toggle screen, toggle camera 1, toggle camera 2, and set to screen 1 and set to screen 2. The basic main idea is we have 2 channels, channel 1 and channel 2. And then let's just say I'm going to activate camera 1. As we can see, it's over here. It also captures avatars as well. You can see my ears are over there. So let's just say now I'm going to take a screenshot. Now, if I take this thing away, nothing much else happens. If I were to toggle screen, this means that this canvas over here is going to have a screen appear up here. Toggle screen. For now, nothing is chosen, so I will choose channel 1. As you can see, it's over there. If I were to switch to channel 2, channel 2 is total darkness now. As you can see that, it's total darkness now. So channel 1, channel 2, channel 1. So now you got the picture. Now, make sure when you are placing objects or when you're done, turn off the camera. Otherwise, you're going to have great transcendence or whatever the PO3 said. Okay, let's just say I'm going to place another circle up here. Now, let me toggle camera 2 and let camera 2 take the screenshot. Done. And then when I take this circle away, nothing much else happens. When I switch to screen number 2, there we go, there goes the circle. And of course there are other shapes as well, for example like this rectangle. No, I'm not going to put it there, I'm going to put it somewhere else. We're all civilized, I hope. So I'm gonna just place this thing down here. Yeah, there we go. And then there we go. Now toggle camera 1, take picture, set to screen 1. So the main idea for this one is you can like stack on shapes however you want. And of course sometimes you can include yourself, but you'll need help from your other friends. So yeah, this one over here is the math room. No, wait, no, it's not the math room, it's the music room. Over here we only have 2 intuitive things go through. The first one is the keyboard. Of course, like they play music sounds. And this one over here is the drum. They can be moved anywhere we want. They're also triggered on trigger. They also can be triggered by mallets or drumsticks. So once you figure it out, this is the hi-hat in the middle because it's actually weird. The layout of the drum is actually taiko based. And once you know this is the hi-hat, you can just go. Also, this keyboard over here is actually also an electronic marimba. Okay, this one, the cross-section scanner. This one over here basically just scans cross-sections. It's almost something like, it's almost, well, not exactly X-ray. To activate it, click it once until the screen appears up here. Here we have a Konnekt section. If you're a math major or a math student, you know where this is going already. As you can see, Konnekt section. From here, we can have circles, and then change the angle. We can have ellipse, parallel to one side, that's a parabola, and others, we have a hyperbola. And then of course, other than the Konnekt section, we have other shapes as well. We usually use to like explain the 4th dimension. A very classic example is we always ask the question like, what will happen if it's like a 4D sphere passing through a 3D space? And then we will always go 1 dimension lower, 3D sphere passing through a 2D plane. So from a dot to a circle, expand until it hits maximum radius, and then start shrinking, become a point, and then disappear. And this is my hand. Yes, it also works on avatars as well. So I usually use this to prove that I have no brain in this case. But of course, once again, when you're not using it, turn it off because it munches away your draw calls. Now, this shelf over here is, okay, the upper row is Korpack. There's this one video back in the days, I explained the basics of it. For a transform, we have our X and Y axes. Open it up, here we have the control panel. Okay, there are 4 main things. The first angle, second angle, third angle, fourth angle. And then here's the playing speed. Over here, we have play, pause, reset, toggle the trail, toggle radii, and toggle grid. For now, let me turn off the outer angles. Okay, so there we go. Let me crank this up to a higher number, say 60. So once I hit reset, we can see there are other points. And so if I were to press the power button, and then when I press play, you can see it starts spinning. So let me toggle radii. Oh wait, that's the trail. There we go, now that's the radii. So the main idea of Fourier transform is if we only have one vector which is spinning at a constant rate, we are going to have a circle. Now, the fun part begins if multiple different radii or angles start spinning at different rates and at different phases. And with this, we can draw different very beautiful patterns. I remember there's this like set. So as you can see, it's like drawing some sort of butterfly over here. Now, once we got these numbers down, of course you can go with any other numbers as well. All you need to do is to crank the first number and you will just get a whole bunch of different stuff. Like now it's 90, and then now we have this. So yeah, Fourier transform. I will also make a video about this as well. But once again, when you're not using it, okay, turn off the trail, and then turn off that thing. So there we go. This globe thing, I call this the projection globe. This will not work on quests, and fun part, I'm now on quest. Okay, so the main idea is if you go watch 3 Blue 1 Brown, which is a good one, there's this like one time he tries to explain 4D rotation, and in that thing there is called projection. So this is a light bulb over here, activated once, you can see light source is working. So this is the main deal over here. This one over here is a gizmo. Click it once, then it will follow your orientation. Click it once again to cancel the request. This over here is a spinning vector. Click it once, it will spin it along that axis at a constant rate. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate this because this will work on PC and PC VR. It will not work on Quest. Why? Because real-time shadows won't work on Quest. However, I'm just going to show it. Oh, damn it, really? So on PC VR, click it once. Over here we have different controls. We can have bulb move, like move the bulb around the sphere. A unit is the radius of the sphere. So let's just say I'm going to say bulb.xyz is 0, meaning to make it center. Well, of course, first you have to like activate the bulb first. Well, I won't be able to see it on Quest. However, it works on PC VR, so there we go. Now we center it. Now this, you can make this whole room illuminated by that whole thing. Now what 3 Blue 1 Brown done is he put this light source on here. However, I will move it down here. So it's almost actually the same idea, just reflected upside down. So to do that, we can say bulb move -y. With this, you can see we can move it around. One thing to keep in mind, this thing is in world space instead of local space. So yeah. But other than this, if you hold this ball, click it once, yes, we have other things, including the classical sphere thing, and you get to know how sometimes a sphere can be projected on the 2-dimensional surface. I do this most of the time by using ceilings and all that stuff, but yeah. Okay, there's this like one more toy over here, which is the gyro, which is relatively new. The main idea of this one is to demonstrate like rotation. So toggle axes, here we have the axes, and reset to reset this configuration, like all of them set to 90. And then this one will spin the first ring, the second one will spin the second ring. So let's click on this one. And each of them, they can spin at different rates. So I'm gonna just go for 4-3 and then hit reset. And then just let it stay put. And now we have this. It is better like not to use it when we're not using it. And over here is the science room. Okay, let's start with the more simpler ones. Laser pens, very straightforward. Torchlight, very straightforward. It's just this time we have multiple different colors. Red, green, blue, yellow, cyan, magenta, and white, and including darkness. Then, yep. Why did I choose those colors? If you're a science student, you already know what I'm gonna do. This is a black screen over here. Red and green. They have yellow. And I'll leave the rest to you. Here are some of the fireworks. Fire them at the sky. No, this last one over here is a special one, so yeah. This one over here is the drone. Over here, the drone is over here. Okay, you might see this is a black screen. Why? Because camera on by default is actually very not good. My broken English. Okay, so over here we can say toggle camera. Now we have our camera. Now most of the people struggles with the control. They don't know what to do with this. So over here we have different joysticks. So let's just say if I pick this thing up. So the main idea is to trigger these little cubes. For example, if I want to move upwards, you can see that. I can move left, move right, move down. And then if you want to go front and back, you use this. Front and back. And then you use this to rotate around. Like for example, rotate left, rotate right. You flip upwards and you flip downwards, or you will roll. Over here, let's just say you don't know and you want to know where is the drone. One thing you can do is toggle the waypoint lasers. And it's over there. Oh, it's over there. Yep. We can also activate chairs, so you guys can have fun on that. Toggle the screen UI. Over here. Here you can see we have different speed and the spinning angular velocity. And then if you want to change that, we can go to movement adjustments. On the right here we have increase speed, decrease spin, decrease spin. I'll leave the rest for you to explore. Basic transform. Basically it's something like make sure it's aligned perfectly. So if we go back to camera again in order to see it in action. So toggles, camera, now it's activated. Okay. Basic transform. Okay, now if we were to set the position like facing at positive x or facing positive z, facing negative x, facing negative z, so we have 4 directions, which is perfect. And we can also hit respawn. There we go. Advanced transform. Over here we can have different pin position. And then once you got to that position, you can set a pin over there. And then over here, go to pin would be something like we can like teleport between those different pins that we have set earlier. So it's almost something like VRC camera that we have our own pins and all that stuff. This one over here is the gravity simulator. Well, not exactly electromagnetic, and it will not like attract them. According to Newton, as long as you have mass, you will attract to each other, but that's not exactly what Einstein said. However, it's very easy to understand. So over here we have a couple of panels. So here we have G constant and R exponent. So if you look at the formula F equals G mm divided by R squared, you can already know that G constant up here lets you change that, and the R exponents lets you change that from square. It can be a cube or it can be a negative exponent such that it turns from divide to multiply. So we can see this in action. These balls over here, they have same mass over here. So if I were to click on the power button, you can see they are already attracted to each other. If I were to pull one of them out, they will follow me because of mass and gravity. And then if I pull this thing, and then I can just throw them, and then they will just go into orbit or whatsoever. Let's see if I can grab one. There we go. Now relative to them, I'm now a black hole. Come on, I have infinite mass. Come on. No. Okay, it's actually quite... Let me... If I were to throw them, you can already see they'll just act normally. So, one thing, if I were to do it, like I can instant the G constant up to 1. If I were to crank it too high, it will explode it. So I encourage everyone, come up over here and have fun with this. For now, I'll just turn off the power button, and over here we can have toggle the trails, so we know where they went. We have those different trails. I can turn it off. I can also hit respawn, so I'm gonna just do this. You go in there. There we go. Okay, we're done with that. This one over here is the field viewer. Take this candle. It may look like nothing. Squeeze it once. It starts activating. It may look like nothing. One of the cubes over here, I call it the manipulator. Each manipulator have 4 modes. Null, which is doing nothing. Attract. Repel, and rotation. One thing to keep in mind is that rotation has a stronger force than attract and repel, but also has a smaller volume of influence. So yeah, over here the fun stuff is you can combine them differently to do different stuff. For example, something like this. And yeah, you can have fun with these. This one over here is the newest science thing over here, organic chemistry. And if you're an organic chemistry teacher, you're in luck. Or if you're studying organic chemistry or you love it. Over here we have 2 different versions of cubes. This one over here is the atom cube. Let's start with that. Pick a cube, squeeze it once. Here we have the UI. Here we have 3 buttons, V minus, V plus, and J. So these 2 V buttons over here just let you go through everything. But let's just say if you want to jump through every element really quickly, we can use the J button. So over here now we're in carbon. Now it's nitrogen, then oxygen, then hydrogen, sulfur, phosphorus. And if you need a covalent bond just in case, yes, we have that. So let's go with carbon, a tetrahedral thing like this, which looks very beautiful. So it works for other stuff as well. Now, this yellow one over here is actually more complicated because it's functional groups. There are different functional groups. So click this once. Now we have a slightly different UI, but don't worry, we'll just go through them. Here we have different buttons. We have R, C, N, O, H, S, V. The V's buttons are again going through everything by brute force. R over here is almost something like how many extra slots that a functional group can attach to. Like for example, COOH only have 1 R. CH2 has 2 R's. Oh boy, I can't remember some of the names, but I do remember what they are made of. Okay, so let's go through that one now. Let's just say we want to have COOH. So we know that that has 1 R, so 1 R. Over here we have RCNOHS, which represents of them. For now we know it's 1 R, but none of them, so that doesn't make sense, so it doesn't show anything. we know it has one C, and now we have one O. Let's say if we have two R's, then we know it's, I don't know, what is this called? Is this called ketone? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, another thing, if I add an extra H minus an R, now we have this. Don't know what it's called. Now cOwOH. Here we go. So here, like this numbers up over here, it says that we have one R, one carbon, no nitrogen, two oxygens, one hydrogen, no sulfur. So yeah, exactly what we have over here. So once you got these, we're good to go. Now let's just say there is this one functional group which is a dead end, so it's R equals to 1. We have one C, one N, no O at all, then no H. So let's say we have this, but let's just say you want another version of this. So in this case we will use V, so V plus. Now we have this. Okay, so there are like isotropic or isometric, I don't know. They made of the same stuff, but they have different configurations. So there is this like one thing I personally like very much is I have added this. In this case, it has a R of 6, a C of 6, no nitrogen, no oxygen, and 6 hydrogen. Benzene ring. Okay, I'm going to activate another. I'm going to make another cOwOH now. So, boop, and then cOwOH. Okay, pick it up. Let's just say I have like constructed this like perfectly. Oops, so I can hide that. Let's say I have constructed this perfectly, but I want to bring it somewhere else along with me. So you can actually grab this red thing, and it will follow you whatever it is. And then congrats, we have done with the complicated things in dimension structure R08 Konnekt. Okay, and that's all the most complicated stuff in dimension structure R08 Konnekt. So yeah, I hope you guys have fun with those stuff, and maybe you can go give it a try afterwards. And yes, in the future, if I'm able, I will add more stuff to this place and have fun. And thanks for all the visits, thanks for all the favorites. I appreciate it very much. And yes, yeah, I'll add more stuff. And of course, I will make other mathematical videos in the VRChat as well. So yeah. I'm Shop Racer from Memo 2007 Ultra. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.